Hello guys, good afternoon. So we were discussing about the JavaScript. Today we'll continue with the var keyword. Var keyword. Now var is a keyword in case of JavaScript. Var is a keyword in case of JavaScript. We'll be using the var keyword. We'll be using the var keyword to declare any variable. This is the variable name, and we are initializing with some value. Now this value can be anything. This value can be anything. This value can be anything. It can be int type, float type, boolean type, string type, any type. Alert function I'm calling, passing the I. Whatever that is stored inside the I, that will be printed. Now here, test function I'm calling. Without calling the test function, this won't be executed. Without calling the test function, automatically this function won't be executed if and only if I call this test function, then only it is going to execute. Now observe, I'll comment this. Nothing is coming because test function is not invoked. How we are invoking? By calling that test function. Here we are making the call to the test function. Simply refresh, getting 10. Now initially I, for I, I'm supplying the value hello. That is of type string type. String type. Then by using alert, I'm trying to print that value. Then later, I'm reinitializing the I to different data type. Later, I'm reinitializing the I to different data type. Different data type value. Boolean type of value. We can change that variable to any data type. We can change that variable to any data type. That is possible in case of JavaScript. But normally, if you are taking any C or Java, once you declare the variable with that type, int type, you can only supply int values, not to the boolean values, because those are incompatible. But here, any type of value you can able to supply. Any type of value you can able to supply. First string, hello. Then now alert what it is doing. What it is doing? Alert. For alert, I'm supplying I. What happens? Whatever the value is there, that will be converted to string. Whatever the value is there, object. That object will be converted to string object, string type. Number also. Observe here. Here, let I. Whatever the object you send, that will be converted to string. then it is going to print hello, true, well. Now here, where I got declared in the if block is within the test function, if block is within the test function. Now inside the if block, I'm declaring the where I. In case of other programming languages, in which block you are declaring the variable, in that block only you can able to access it, not outside the block, not outside that block. But in case of JavaScript, but in case of JavaScript, var keyword, if you are using the var keyword for the variable, what happens? You can use anywhere, you can use anywhere in the test, you can use anywhere in the test, you can use anywhere in the test possible. So that is why if I use here alert, I'll be getting what, 20, right? It is the outside scope. This is what, this is if block. The scope of this if block is what, this. Scope of this if block is this. Scope of this test function is this. Now alert type is outside the scope of if block, but it is inside the scope of test function, possible. Outside the if block also you can able to use the I, possible. Undefined, what I'm getting, why I'm getting undefined. Here why I'm getting undefined. Observe. I'm not getting anything. Here, why we are not getting anything in the sense, if block is returning false, right? If block is returning false. Now, if the if block is returning false, this I is not getting any value. This I is not getting any value. Now, alert is taking one argument I. Alert is taking one argument I. But this I doesn't have the value. This I doesn't have the value. That is why we are getting undefined. That means what? If and only if the if block executing, then only I is getting the value. When if block gets executed, when it is true, when it is true, then only I will be getting the 20. Now let us make it as true. Refresh. 20 we are getting. 20 we are getting. Now can I keep here alert type? Is it possible? Refresh. Undefined. That means what? Before declaring the I, I'm using it. Before declaring and initializing the I, I'm using the I. That is why I'm getting the undefined for I. Now, here also keep the alert. I will get 20. First undefined. Then you'll get 20. For loop. How for loop is working? For loop has three sections, three parts. For loop has three parts. One is what? Initialization part. This is what? Checking the Boolean condition part. It is what? Increment or decrement part. Initialization part, checking the Boolean condition part, increment or decrement part. Now, initialization part will be executing only once. Initialization part will be executing only once. Later on, it is going to check for only Boolean condition. As long as this Boolean condition is true, it is keep on iterating. When the Boolean condition is false, comes out of this for. For the first iteration, what happens? Loop iteration, I value what? 1. This is what we are calling concatenation. Concatenation. String plus number. String plus number. Concatenation. It is going to concatenate these two, string and number. For the first iteration, loop iteration 1. Now I will be incremented to 2. I got incremented by 1. Now I value is 2. I value will be incremented by 1. Now I value will be 2. Now checking the Boolean condition, whether 2 less than 5, of course. Going inside the body, alert, loop iteration, I value, correct I value, 2. I got incremented to 3. 3 less than or equal to 5, yes. Going inside loop iteration, 3. I got incremented to 4. 4 less than or equal to 5, yes. Going inside loop iteration, 5. 5 or 4? 4. Now I is becoming 5. I is becoming 5. 5 less than or equal to 5? Of course. Returning true. Coming inside loop iteration 5. 5 is becoming 6. 5 is becoming 6. Whether 6 is less than or equal to 5? False. Then it is going to come out. After loop. Current I value is what? 6. Current I value 6. Loop iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After loop 6. Now redeclaration of the var. Redeclaration of the variable of type var. Redeclaration of the variable of type var allowed anywhere in JavaScript. Already I have declared the var I and initialized it also. Once again I'm trying to redeclare it and reinitialize it. Possible. No issues at all. But in case of Java, not possible. Redeclaration of the same variable. Redeclaration of the same variable, it is not possible in other programming languages. But in case of JavaScript, that will do the variable that is of type var. Redeclaration is possible. First I'll get 300, then I'll get 400. 300, 400. Now what is the usage of let? Let keyword. What is the difference between var and let? Let I is equal to 300. 300 will be. Now I is equal to false. Earlier it was number type. Earlier it was number object. Now I'm supplying what? Boolean object. Then I'm supplying what? String object. Then I'm supplying what? String object. All the object will be converted to string. Any type of object it can accept. Any type of value. Any type of value it can able to accept. Let. Var also can accept. Let also can accept. 300 balls. Hello. Game. Now, let's say here like this. What happens now? Save it. I'm not getting anything. Check in the console. How to check the console? Control Shift I. Control Shift I. What I'm getting? Uncut reference error. I is not defined. At line number 9. What that means? Later type of variable got declared in the if block. If the later type of variable got declared in any block, that variable must be used within that block only, not outside that block. Not outside that block. The scope of this let type of variable is belongs to that specific block only, not outside the block. Not outside the block. But in case of var, anywhere we can use. After declaring, we can use anywhere. We can use anywhere. That means, let's say here, alert. Okay. Alert. I'm not getting anything. Now observe in the console. Control shift right. At line number 5. Here, what type of variable we are passing? Actually, That will be converted to string. But here, what is the type? Letter type. Letter type. Earlier it was what type? Var type. Let's say for var. Here undefined I'll get. Here I'll get what? 300. Undefined 300 I'll get. But if it is let, it is let error. Here also error. Here also error. Control shift right. Line number 5 itself I'm getting error. If you are using the var, anywhere in the test method you can use. If you are using the var type of variable, anywhere in the test method you can use. If it is not declared yet, you get what? Undefined. If it is declared, if you are using outside the scope of that block, you get what? Whatever the value that got initialized in that block. Outside the block also you get that value. Anywhere in the test method you can use. But in case of let, that let variable scope is belongs to that specific block only, not outside, not outside. That is the difference between var and let. It is like a local variable to this block. It is local to this block. We cannot able to use outside the scope. Cannot able to outside. We cannot able to use outside the scope of this block. Here also, function test. Function test. Earlier, for loop, we have used var. Now I'm using for let. Now, what is the scope of this let? Only for loop. In for loop only, I have declared the let. Right or not? In the for loop only, I have declared and initialized the let variable I. Anywhere in the for loop you can use, but not outside the for loop. But not outside the for loop. Observe carefully. Here, iterations I'll get, but outside the for loop I don't get. Loop iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not getting the 6. So here by control shift type. Uncaught reference error. Uncaught reference error. At line number 9. The scope of this let belongs to this for loop only, not outside the for. If you want to use it, what can you do? If you want to use that outside the for loop also, what can you do? Can I say like this? Let type. Is it okay? Okay. For loop iteration 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 outside the for loop 6. If you want to use outside the scope also, that means what? Here, the scope of this I is what? See, from this point onwards, from this point, anywhere you can able to use, anywhere in the test method, from this point, from this point, anywhere in the test method you can able to use. But if you are declaring here itself, the scope will be restricted to this for loop only. But in case of var, but in case of var, What happens? Inside the for loop also, outside the for loop also. Anywhere in the test method. Anywhere in the test method. But if you are using before declaring, you will get undefined. After declaring, whatever the value is initialized, that value you get. Abhishek, mute yourself. Abhishek, Abhishek, can you hear me? Abhishek, please mute yourself. Redeclaring a var variable with the let in the same block or same scope is allowed. Redeclaration of var variable with the let in the same block in the same scope is allowed. First I'll get 300, then I'll get what? 400. First it was type of var, now it is a type of let. Why I'm not getting anything? Why I'm not getting anything? Observe carefully. Control shift I. Uncaught syntax error. Identifier I has already been declared. At line number 7. Please make a correction in the same scope or in the same method or in the same block. Redeclaration of the var. It is not possible with the let. Or let's say here I'll be having let. Redeclaring let with var. Redeclaring let with var. What happens now? Control shift right. Uncut syntax error. Identifier I has already been declared at line number 12. Redeclaration of let with the var in the same scope or block or method not possible. Okay, vice versa. Here, let I. Once again, I'm redeclaring the same variable. Let I. Control shift I. Line number 7. Redeclaration of let variable with another let in the same block or in the same scope. Not allowed. But in case of var, that is possible. But in case of var, that is possible. But in case of let, it is not possible. Yeah, is something like final. Is something like final. It means what? Once I declare and initialize, we cannot able to modify it further, right? We cannot able to modify it further. See, it is purely acting as other programming language. It is purely let is purely acting as what? Other programming language. Once I declare a variable with that type, some type, I cannot able to redeclare in the same scope or in the same block or in the same method. Not possible. But where redeclaration any number of time possible. Now we got the two differences. One is what? In case of where anywhere you can able to use scope. Outside the scope also you can able to use. But in case of let, within that scope only, not outside that scope. But in case of let can I redeclare the same variable? No. Can I declare var? Can I redeclare var? So two differences. We can redeclare var. We cannot. Sorry. We can redeclare var and we cannot redeclare let. We cannot redeclare let. Within the same scope, I can use the let. Let within the same scope. Within the same scope only, I can use the let. But outside the scope also, we can use the var. Outside the scope also, we can use the var. Test 1, test 2. In test 1, let I is equal to 300. This I is local to this test 1. Test 2, let I is equal to 400. This I is local to this test 2. Both are different scopes. No issues at all. Test 1 I'm calling I is equal to 300, alert I. 300 I'll get. Test 2 I'm calling, let I is equal to 400, alert I is what? 400. Three hundred then 400. No, Now let's discuss about the default. What happens in case of values? Var I. What is the default value for I? Undefined. Then I'll get what? 10. Then I'll get what? 1.5. Then I'll get what? H. Then I'll get what? Welcome. Default value for I in case of var. That is what? Undefined. Undefined 10, 1.5 H. Welcome. Now we can also find out the type of the variable. What is that type? What is the type of? By using type of. Type of is the keyword. It is used to identify the type of the variable. Type of is the keyword in JavaScript. We can able to use the type of to find out the type of the variable. Now what is the type of I initially? Undefined. Later on, number, number. Okay. Then later on, string. Undefined number string. Type of. Type of J. What is the type of J? Type of K. Type of L. Type of M. Type of N. It is the Boolean type. This one, null. No, sure. Number, number, string, string, Boolean, object. Null is the object type. Null is what? Null is object type. Now, for the if block, I'm supplying right. In case of if block, compulsory, I need to supply the Boolean value. Compulsory, I need to supply the Boolean value. Then only it is going to evaluate whether do I need to execute the body or skip the body. Now, I is what? Undefined, right? Undefined. I did not supply any value. Undefined. If it is undefined, it is considered as false. If it is undefined, it is considered as false. It is considered as false. If it is considering it as false, else block will execute. From else I'll get. From else. From else. Let's say here, now what happens? From if I'm getting, now we don't get the else block. Let's say empty. What happens? from if. It is considering it as what? True. Let's say here, come back, string line. Now, what we can do is here itself, apply 20, check out from if. Here itself, what else apply? String value. Considering it as true. If it is undefined, then only it is false. Let's say 10 not equal to 10. What happens? All are true. From else we are getting. Why? Because 10 is not equal to 10. 10 is not equal to 10. 10 is equal to 10. 10 is not equal to 10. If it is like this, what happens? Can you forget? Now, let's check out. What happens in this case? Double AND. In case of double AND, both the expressions must be returning true. One expression is written in false. From else we are getting. If both the expressions are resulting true, double AND operator returns true. From here. If it is double R, it is double R. What happens? In case of double R, in case of double R, either one of the expression should be returning true. Compulsory not both. In case of double AND, compulsory both should be returning true. Then only it is returning true. Otherwise false. In case of double R, what happens? Any one returning true, this double R returns true. Tell me. Let's say here, what happens? Both are false. I'll get from else. Next. Let's comment this. This is what we are calling empty string. Empty string. Empty string. A string without having any characters. A string without having any characters. So that is considered as undefined type. Undefined type. So if it is undefined, what happens? If block will be false. Undefined is considered as false. From else. In the alert, I'm not getting anything. Why? Because it is empty string. Empty string. In the alert, I'm not getting anything. In the alert, I'm not getting anything. It is not stored with any value. It is not stored with any value. That means what? Empty string. Empty string. A string without having any characters. Now alert I, empty string we are printing. Empty string also considered as what? Undefined. That is why I'm getting from else. Now comment this one. Same only. Same. Within a single quote also, within a double quote also. Both are considered as string. There is no character. There is no character. String itself is an array of characters. But in case of Java, we have the char, right? But in case of Java, we have the char. But in JavaScript, single quote and double quote both are string. String itself internally is an array of characters. Where I is equal to 0. What happens? Understood the difference? If it is 0, 0 is what considered as 0 considered as false. Other than anything, other than 0, other than 0, all are. Let's say here 1. From if I'm getting, if it is 0, considered as what? False. Here null also considered as false. From else we are getting. Now let's check else if is available or not. By the syntax highlight only you can able to tell. Or Here we cannot able to use the else if, okay? But there is another way. Else if we cannot, but there is another. So there is another way that I'll show you later. Now let's say else block is there. From else, so can I have more than one else? For one if, can I have more than one else? No, not possible. For one if, you can only have one else. So that is why we'll be using the concept of else if. That is why we'll be using the concept of else if. So that we can able to develop any number of else if blocks. Any number of else if blocks at last. At last we can keep the else block. Single else block. Let's say here else else. Any number of else if blocks. Any number. Now all these are returning false. All these are returning false. Then at last I'm keeping else. From else I'll get from else. After all the else if block only, we need to keep the else. Now let's say here I'm keeping in the middle of the else if. Getting the error itself. Here itself getting the error. So you should keep the else block after developing all the else if blocks. Now what is the usage of double equals? It is going to check for whether these two are equal or not. Comparing between these two. Now internally I is having the value 10. Now 10 itself is a value. Both are true, sorry, both are equal. So it is returning true from here. Now here, in case of JavaScript, in case of JavaScript, double equals. It is checking the content, not the type, not the type. It is a string type, right or wrong? It is the number type and string type. But in case of Java, that is incompatible, right? Int cannot be compared with string. String cannot be compared with int. But in case of JavaScript, double equals, how it is going to function? It is going to check the content, focusing on the content, not the type, not the type. Focusing on the content, not the type. Now, content is same, content is same. That is why it is returning true from if. Now, that is why we have the concept of triple equals. Triple equals. In case of triple equals, it is not only checking the content, but also for the type. If both are matching, then only true, otherwise false. Strict comparison. Now, this is the number type and this is what string type. Both are not equal in case of type wise. Type wise, both are not equal. So that is why we get the false. Strict comparison, we can go for triple equals. From else. Now we'll come to basic validation. Basic form validation. Basic form validation. We can able to develop the form by using form tag. In HTML, we have seen that. By using form tag, we can able to develop the form. Now, action is the attribute. Action is the attribute. Within the double quotes, I'm supplying the target success.html. In the current folder, I have developed success.html. What does it do? In case of form, it is going to collect the data, right or not? In case of form, it is going to collect the data. After it is collecting the data, it has to send the data to the server. That is what exactly action is doing. Using action, we are sending the collected data to the target where the data has to be sent in the server. Now data, the collected data, I'm sending to the success.html. The collected data we are sending to the success.html. That is the target. If a validation is true, form data will be sent to the success.html. If and only if validation is true, fan validation is true, everything is proper, then only data will be sent to the server, otherwise it doesn't. Now parameter 1, this is the label. It is just a what is this we can able to call, we can consider it as some identification purpose identifier. Parameter 1. Now input field text name is equal to param 1. Parameter 2, input type text name is equal to parameter 2, param 2. Now input type is submit, value also submit. Upon the button you get the value as submit on click. If I click on that button, if I click on that button, it is going to call the validate function. It is going to call what? Validate function. If I click on that button, return what? Validate. If and only if it is getting the true. If and only if it is getting true, then only the data will be sent to the success.html. If it is getting the false, the data won't be sending to the success.html. So that is why we are using the return. Now function validate. How we are writing the validate function? Now observe param 1. This is one input type. Input type of element. Name is param 1. Param 1 is the member of the form in this HTML page. In this HTML page, a.html, this is the form, first form. This is the first form. In one HTML page, in one HTML file, we can able to develop any number of forms. No issues at all. Now in the first form, param1 is the member that can be referred to forms of 0. In one HTML file, we can develop any number of forms. Form index will be starting from 0. Any number of forms you can able to develop. So this is the first form. This first form is forms of 0. In the forms of 0, param1 is the member. Now document is the object. Document is the whole HTML document. Document object. For this entire Java file, sorry, for this entire HTML file, one document object, one document object. The whole HTML file can be referred as the document. Document is an object. In one HTML file, we can enable to develop any number of forms. Forms index will be starting from 0. If I develop another form, forms of 1. If I develop another form, forms of 2. Now, if condition or if block, this whole document can be referred by this document object. This whole HTML document can be referred through this document object. In this document object, we have the form 0, first form, forms of 0. Now, in that forms of 0, param 1 is the member, param 1 is the member. Now, I'm trying to find out what I'm trying to find out. The length of the value. The length of the value of that field. Param1 dot value dot length. I'm trying to find out the length of the value that I have entered. If it is equal to 0, that means I did not enter anything. That means what? Please enter parameter 1. It is going to return true or not. If I don't enter anything, if I simply click on submit, what happens? Please enter parameter 1, returning false. If it is false, form data won't be submitted. It is false, doesn't submit. Doesn't submit the data to success.html. Now, let's assume I have entered some characters in this field. Now it is going to return true. Now, flow is continuing. Flow is continuing. Then it is coming to this if block. Document dot forms of 0. Param2 is the member of the forms of 0. Param2 is the member of the forms of 0. I'm trying to find out the length of the value that is entered to param2 field. Now I did not enter anything. What happens? It is going to return true. This if block going to return true. Coming inside, please enter parameter to returning false. Now form data won't be submitted. Assume both are returning, means both are returning false. If and only if this is false, then only here it comes to this if block. If it is returning true, what happens? Here itself it is going to return false. Right or not? If it is returning true, what happens? Going inside, returning false. Form data won't be submitted. Assume this first if block returning false. Checking the second if block. What happens in this case? If it is returning true, enter the parameter to returning false. Form data won't be submitted. Assume that this if block is returning false as well. Now it is going to come for last statement, return true. If both the if blocks are not executed, that means what? If both the if blocks are returning false, then only return true will execute. Then only this validate function will be getting the true. Right or not? We can send any return value to the function. Now returning what? True. If and only if this validate is getting true while returning, then only it is going to send the data to success.html. Otherwise, it won't send. If it is false, it won't send the data to success.html. If and only if these two if blocks are false, then only control is coming to return true. Then only form data will be sending to the success.html. So this is the basic form validation. Basic, very basic. Parameter 1, parameter 2. If I directly click on submit, what happens? What happens? Please enter parameter 1 returning false. Fine? Okay, fine. I'll enter something. ABC. I click on submit, what happens? Please enter parameter 2 returning false. Okay, fine. If I enter both ABC, XYZ, both type blocks are returning false. Control will be coming to return true. Then data will be set into the success.html. This is from success.html file. Data will be sent to the success.html file. Form action success.html parameter 1, parameter 2, then one button. Now, what are we trying to do? Observe the last program. Parameter 1 and parameter 2. If I simply click on submit, what happens? Please enter parameter 1. If I click on OK, whether the focus is coming to the parameter 1? No, right? User has not given the focus to enter the value to the parameter 1. So what I'm trying to achieve in the next program, if I click on submit without entering any data, if I click on OK, the focus should come to that field like this. Now document is the object for this whole HTML. Forms of 0, we have the forms of 0. Param 1 is the member in the forms of 0. Dot focus. If and only if it is returning true, enter in the body, please enter the parameter 1. If I click on OK, what happens? The focus will be coming to parameter 1 field. Cursor will be blinking on the parameter 1 field. Then returning false. Assume this is false. Coming to the second if block. First one, we have entered some data. So that is why if block is returning false. Coming out, second if block is executing. Here, let's say here, length is 0. I did not enter anything. Click on submit. What happens? Please enter parameter 2. If I click on OK, the focus will be coming to the parameter 2 field value. Parameter 2 field. Then returning false. Parameter 1, simply click on submit. Click on OK. Now focus will come to the first field automatically. Focus. That is what we are achieving. It is more convenient way of development. Now let's say I have entered this one. Click on submit. It's in that parameter 2. So click on OK. Focus will be coming to the parameter 2. Come to the next. What I'm trying to do here. In the if block, instead of writing document dot forms of 0, in the if block, instead of writing document dot forms of 0, what I'm trying to do, this document dot forms of 0 represented by my form variable. This document dot forms of 0 represented by my form. I'm creating one variable. then that is pointing to what? Documented.forms of zero. Wherever you require document.forms of zero, there and all simply you can go for my form, reducing the code, reducing the length. Wherever you require document.forms of zero, there and all simply you can go for my form. My form represents documented.forms of zero. Now my form dot param1 dot value length is equal to 0. In the second if block also, param2 is the member of document.forms of zero or not? Param1 also member of document object forms of zero. Param2 also a member of document object forms of zero. For both we can use my form because my form is pointing to document.forms of zero. Reducing the code. Same functionality we get with the focus. Focus on getting ABC. Focus on getting XYZ. Submit successfully. It is going to submit that. Even more we can reduce. Even more we can reduce. How? P1 represents my form that param1. Wherever you require my form dot param1, there you can simply go for P1. My form represents what? Document dot forms of zero. Inside that we have the param1. My form dot param1, that is pointed by P1. Wherever you required my form dot param1, that means what? Documented dot forms of zero dot param1. Wherever you required, simply you can go for P1. Wherever you required document dot forms of zero dot param1, simply you can go for P1. P1 dot value dot length is equal to 0. Code even more reduced. But for the second if block, you need to create another variable. Why? Because parameter is different. But my form is same. My form is same. My form is same. But parameter is different. Parameter 2. Wherever we require document dot forms of 0 that parameter 2. There and all simply you can go for P2. Code is reduced. Same functionality you get with the focus. Now, first name, one field, credit card number, CC number, credit card number, another. Now that is the type of password. If that is the type of password, when you are typing, you cannot see the characters. Characters will be in the top. Address is the text area. Columns will be 15, rows will be 4. Now I'm developing one submit button. If I click on that submit button, I'm calling validate my form function, returning the return value of the validate my form function. If it is true, then only data is into success.html. It is false, it won't send the data. We have seen this syntax. See what is this? F1 represents what? Documented at forms of 0. F1 represents documented at forms of 0. Now, documented dot forms of 0 dot to first name. First name is the member of the document dot forms of 0. Now, wherever you require document dot forms of 0 dot first name, there and all, we can simply go for F name, first name with focus, second field. Wherever you require documented dot forms of 0 dot card number, there and all, we can simply go for CNUM with the focus Verachi. Then, wherever you require document dot forms of 0 dot address. There and all, we can simply go for address details. We're checking through with the focus. First name, please enter the first name. Details. Submit. Please enter the credit card number. If I say like this, what happens? Is the type of password. If it is a type of password, it will be invisible. It will be coming in the form of dots. But click on submit address. Please enter the address. Click on what happens? Data will be sent. Here what I'm trying to do. Please analyze. In case of radio buttons, what we are achieving? What we are achieving? Only one value. Either it can be this or it can be that. Not both. So for grouping purpose, we are using the same name for two radio buttons. Name is gender, name is gender. Then it will come to only one you should select. Only one user has to select, not both. So gender value is equal to m. Then male and this is what it is called hmm, non-breaking space. Okay, non-breaking space. One non-breaking space, another non-breaking space. Here I can go for C. In case of this, I can have the space in HTML, right or wrong? And let's see. Now, see HTML is white space collapsing. HTML is white space collapsing. That means unnecessary white spaces will be removed by the browser itself. If I want the space, I can go for these kind of things. Ampersand non-breaking space. Any number you can use. Let's see what is the what all this does. What is the format will be getting. Now input a type, submit. See here another radio button. This is female. One is male, another is female. Then input a type of button. What? Here we don't need the space. This one. Ah, yeah, this is different. Okay, we'll see. This is different. This is different. See after gender colon, what I'll get? Male. Then this number of spaces. Then I'll get what? Female. Radio button. Here I can only choose one. Only one radio button. Not, that is why we are grouping that. Both the names are same type, gender type. Validate function. Document.forms of 0 represented by F1. Gender ID. F1 dot gender. Now this gender ID now acting as an array. F1 dot gender will be acting as an array. That means what? Document dot forms of 0 dot F1. Sorry. Document dot forms of 0 represented by F1. Now in the F1, gender is the member. Sorry. In the document dot forms of 0 means what? F1. Both are same. Now in the forms of 0, gender is the member. Gender is the member. Now we have we have two radio with the same name as gender. Now it is acting as an array. Index 0 will be first radio button. Index 1 will be second radio button. We need to check at least one got selected or not. We need to check whether at least one got selected or not. That is why I'm using the for loop. Initially flag will be false. Initially flag will be false. This is the for loop. Now gender ID dot length. What is the length here? Length is what? Length is what? Length is what? 2. Length is 2. Our size is 2. Array size is 2. length is 2. Now I is initialized with 0. Index is starting from 0. Index is starting from 0. 0 and 1, 2 radio, right? 2 radio. One is index of 0, another one is index of 1. But length is what? 2. If I becomes 2, no, what happens? Actually, we cannot select that both. Okay. Here, what I'm trying to do is at least one got selected or not. Assume that I is equal to 0. Here, gender ID of I. Assume that first radio button is checked. That is what I'm doing. Checked is the property in the radio button and also in the checkbox. Using checked, what we are trying to do, whether that radio or checkbox selected or not. If it is selected, return true. If it is not selected, false. Assume first radio button, sorry, first radio not selected. False. Right or wrong? False. Then this if block body won't be executed. Then not a false means what? Flag initially false. Right or wrong? Flag initially false. Not false means what? True. It is going to execute this if block. Please enter gender. Then the focus will be coming to the first radio. First radio. Focus. First focus will be coming to the first radio. Then returning false. Next. Assume that here I is equal to 0, gender ID of I, 0 checked, that got checked. Means if block is returning true. Means if block is returning true. Checked is the property in the radio button. It is going to check whether that radio or checkbox got selected or not. If it is checked, it is going to return true. If it is not checked, it's going to return false. In this case, assume that gender ID 0, that is what male, got selected. Flag initializing with a true. Now, for loop is breaking. For loop is breaking. Break means what? Enter for loop will be breaking. It is not continue, it is break. Enter for loop will be breaking. Comes out. Not a true means what? False. Then this if block won't be executed. Straight away it is going to return true. Whatever that is got selected. Assume that first is not selected, female is selected. I is equal to 0. Whether checked? No. Male is not selected. It is going for second iteration. I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1 is now pointing to female. Gender ID 1. It is checked. It is got selected. Now it is entering the flag. Flag is equal to return true. Flag is equal to true. It is assigning with a true. Now this entire for loop is breaking. Not true means what? False. This if block won't be executed. Returning true, that is female radio. See, this is what I'm getting for this one. This symbol I'm getting through this. If I don't include that, simply I'll get the space. Assume I'm not entering anything. Submit. Please select the gender. If I click on OK, focus is there, but to visible that, you need to press space bar. Space. If you press space now, then focus comes. Now let's say submit. Male is the right. Male is the selected radio. If I don't select male, if I select female, submit. Female will be the radio button. So tomorrow we'll see checkbox and select and multi-select. Enough for today. We'll wrap up the today's class. Bhargavi, yes, please answer your attendance. Bhargavi, yes. Yashaswini,
Yes, sir.
Yashaswini,
Yes, sir.
Sai Shilari,
Yes, sir.
Kula Arshika,
Yes, sir.
Samrat, Srinivas, yes, Madhushri, Rahul Gowda, Sachin PR, Harsha B, Abhishek PM,
Yes, sir.
Sunil Kumar, Shraddha,
Yes, sir.
Saurabh Jain,
Yes, sir.
Namrata, Archana, Omar Abdul,
Yes, sir.
Saeed Abdul,
Yes, sir.
Alavi Amit,
Yes, sir.
Ashita,
Present, sir.
Akshata,
Yes, sir.
Rahul Belavadi,
Present, sir.
Mohammad Usman, Moin Ahmad, Naveen Kumar.
Present, sir.
See, some people are not consistent. They're skipping the classes. If you are skipping the classes, what happens? You cannot get the next concept. So many people are doing like that. I don't know. Mm, Here, Bhargav is not attending from past two classes. Then Ashika is not consistent. Then what's this? Moin Ahmad is not consistent. He's in fact absent for so many days. Okay, fine, guys, and please, one notification is there. This Saturday we'll be having the test. This Saturday we'll be having the test at 11 o'clock. Everybody has to come to the institute and take the test. and there won't be any rescheduling. Okay, make the plans accordingly. There won't be any rescheduling. You have to come to the institute and write the exam. It will be like some kind of objective types question. It will be around for 20 marks. Sorry, not 20. It might be for around 30 or 40 or even 50. No issues at all. So time is 11 a.m. Saturday 11 a.m. Saturday 11 a.m. So whatever I cover um, till to date, like Thursday, Thursday or Friday. Okay, let's take Thursday. Whatever till I cover Thursday, that will be the syllabus for the test. So please practice. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.